Our solar system has one star within it, and we call that the Sun. The Sun is spherical, extremely hot, and it is the largest entity within our solar system. And it is in the central position, exerting the gravity which holds our solar system together. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. Mercury could not have formed from early solar system material in its current location, because the Sun's gravity would have pulled any early material away from that location and into the Sun. Mercury either formed in another part of our solar system, or it formed in a different solar system. Either way, Mercury must have been moving at high speed towards a near side of our Sun, and then it was captured into an unusual orbit of our Sun. Venus is a very hot planet, and it has a strong carbon dioxide atmosphere with lots of sulfuric acid clouds. Venus doesn't have any moons that orbit it. Strangely, Venus spins clockwise on its axis. This is probably because another large entity collided with Venus and knocked Venus into that unusual rotation. Earth, our home planet. It has a strong atmosphere suitable for life to exist. Earth spins anti-clockwise on its axis, but there is a significant wobble of its axis. This may be from a natural cause, or it may be that another large entity collided with Earth and caused that orientation. Earth has one good-sized spherical moon orbiting it. Earth's moon works beneficial with Earth. It assists with tidal shift, which is good for our environment to thrive, and the reflection of the Sun on the moon is an additional source of light in our night sky. Surprisingly, despite the Sun being more massive than our moon, from a view of looking from Earth, they appear to be about the same size. If a deity manipulated and or terraformed our solar system for that optical illusion, then he or she had a good sense of humour, because currently the Sun's diameter is about 400 times wider than the Moon's diameter, but the Sun is about 400 times further away from Earth than what our Moon is. Mars is a planet colder than Earth. Mars probably had vast amounts of liquid water on its surface millions of Earth years ago. The finding of large amounts of xenon-129 on the surface of Mars is a mystery. Xenon-129 is generally associated with nuclear explosions. Mars has two small irregular-sized moons orbiting it. The asteroid belt is a very large orbital region where millions of asteroids are. Most of those asteroids orbit the Sun anti-clockwise, but some orbit the Sun clockwise. There is also a dwarf planet named Ceres that is within the asteroid belt. Jupiter is the largest planet within our solar system, and it is the second largest entity within our solar system after the Sun. Jupiter is believed to be mostly composed of hydrogen and helium gases. Jupiter has a very strong atmosphere with lots of ammonia clouds. Jupiter has 4 good-sized spherical moons orbiting it, and lots of small irregular sized moons orbiting it. Ganymede is the largest moon that orbits the planet Jupiter. Ganymede is a spherical rocky entity, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. Callisto is the second largest moon that orbits the planet Jupiter. Callisto is a spherical rocky entity with an icy surface, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. Io is the third largest moon that orbits the planet Jupiter. Io is a spherical rocky entity with lots of volcanic activity. Europa is the fourth largest moon that orbits the planet Jupiter. Europa is a spherical rocky entity with an icy surface, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. Saturn is the second largest planet within our solar system. Saturn is believed to be mostly composed of hydrogen and helium gases. Saturn has a very strong atmosphere with some ammonia clouds. Saturn has 7 good-sized spherical moons orbiting it, and lots of small irregular-sized moons orbiting it, and also lots of ice particles orbiting it, which display a large distinctive ring around it. Titan is the largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Titan is a spherical rocky entity with an icy surface, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. Titan has a strong nitrogen atmosphere with lots of methane clouds. Rhea is the second largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Rhea is a spherical rock and ice entity. Iapetus is the third largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Iapetus is a spherical rocky entity with an icy surface. Dione is the fourth largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Dione is a spherical rocky entity with an icy surface. Tethys is the fifth largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Tethys is a spherical icy entity. Enceladus is the sixth largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Enceladus is a spherical rocky entity with an icy snowy surface, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. Mimas is the seventh largest moon that orbits the planet Saturn. Mimas is a spherical icy entity. Uranus is a large planet believed to be mostly composed of gases and liquids. Strangely, Uranus spins clockwise on its axis in an unusual side orientation. This is probably because another large entity collided with Uranus and knocked Uranus into that unusual rotation. Uranus has a strong atmosphere with some hydrogen sulfide clouds. Uranus has 5 good-sized spherical moons orbiting it, and also lots of small irregular-sized moons orbiting it. and lots of ice particles orbiting it, which display some large rings around it. Titania is the largest moon that orbits the planet Uranus. Titania is a spherical rock and ice entity. Oberon is the second largest moon that orbits the planet Uranus. Oberon is a spherical rock and ice entity. Umbriel is the third largest moon that orbits the planet Uranus. Umbriel is a spherical rock and ice entity. Ariel is the fourth largest moon that orbits the planet Uranus. Ariel is a spherical rock and ice entity. Miranda is the fifth largest moon that orbits the planet Uranus. Miranda is a spherical rock and ice entity, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. Neptune is a large planet believed to be mostly composed of gases and liquids. Neptune has a strong atmosphere with some methane clouds. Neptune has one good-sized spherical moon orbiting it, and many small irregular-sized moons orbiting it, and also many particles orbiting it, which display some large rings around it. Triton is the largest moon that orbits the planet Neptune. Triton is a spherical rocky entity with an icy surface, and there is probably an ocean of water beneath its surface. The Kuiper Belt is a very large orbital region where some dwarf planets are, and also thousands of asteroids are. Most entities within the Kuiper Belt orbit the Sun anti-clockwise, but some orbit the Sun clockwise. An unmanned NASA space probe named New Horizons has travelled within the Kuiper Belt and transmitted lots of interesting information back to our home planet Earth. Pluto is the largest dwarf planet within the Kuiper Belt. Pluto spins clockwise on its axis, and it has a huge wobble of its axis. This is probably the result of another large entity that collided with Pluto. Pluto is a rocky entity with an icy surface. Pluto has 5 small irregular moons orbiting it. The Oort cloud extends to the outer limits of our solar system. Matter within the Oort cloud is loosely held within our solar system by the Sun's gravity at a very long distance. There are billions of asteroids within the Oort cloud, and there are billions of comets within the Oort cloud. The comets in the Oort cloud don't have tails. Sometimes comets travel out of the Oort cloud, and sometimes those comets head towards our inner solar system. When a comet gets near to Jupiter or our Sun, then we can see that comet with a tail. That is because the gravity exerted from Jupiter or the Sun pulls icy, dusty material away from the comet as the comet heats up. Our solar system that we live in is just one star system within the Milky Way galaxy. There are probably billions of star systems within the Milky Way galaxy, and there are probably billions of galaxies in the universe. One of the brightest stars that can be viewed with a naked human eye from planet Earth is Polaris, also known as the North Star. Polaris is a star within our wider region of the Milky Way galaxy, and it is nearly aligned with Earth's north rotational axis. And so if you're travelling on planet Earth at night time, Polaris is a great navigational tool. It will always be very challenging to understand much about anything outside of our star system because of the immense distances. For example, if we launched a spaceship from our home planet Earth with ion thrust propulsion engines, and that particular spaceship had capability to reach 500,000 miles per hour, then once that spaceship had reached 500,000 miles per hour, it could stop thrust and probably maintain a similar speed in deep space. Because objects in deep space do not slow down much, nor do they speed up much, unless there are strong outside forces nearby in effect. However, the outside edge of our solar system, the Oort cloud, is about 1 light year away, maybe 2 light years away. So travelling at about 500,000 miles per hour, the spaceship would take more than 1,000 Earth years to exit our star system. Therefore, we rely on telescopes to attain information about what is outside of our star system. We have telescopes for use on planet Earth in observatories, and we have space telescopes that we have launched into space via rockets. There are several types of telescope technology that we use, including gamma ray, infrared, normal optical, radio, ultraviolet, and X-ray. Some stars are in clusters. This is a cluster of stars in our Milky Way galaxy, and it is known as the Arches cluster. Some galaxies are also in clusters. This is the Virgo cluster of galaxies. Unfortunately, we will never be able to obtain a holistic, real image of our Milky Way galaxy. This is because of the immense distances that a camera or a telescope would need to travel to capture it. It is estimated that our solar system is about halfway out from the centre of our Milky Way galaxy, and that it currently takes millions of Earth years for our solar system to complete one orbit around the centre of our Milky Way galaxy. The nearest galaxy to our Milky Way galaxy is the Andromeda galaxy. Most galaxies are spiral shaped. This is because the stars in each galaxy are constantly moving high speed orbiting their central mass, which is often probably a supermassive black hole. About half of all spiral galaxies appear to be rotating anticlockwise, and the other half of spiral galaxies appear to be rotating clockwise. Stars create the foundations of life. 1. Because they create various chemical elements which life depends on, and 2. They emit heat which life depends on. Stars are natural power generators for energy. They create nuclear fusion reactions which release huge amounts of energy by converting hydrogen particles into helium particles. There are different types of stars. For example, our Sun is currently classified as a yellow dwarf star. Stars sometimes explode as supernova. Those explosions result in supermassive clouds of gases that span immense distances. Those supermassive clouds of gases are what we classify as a nebula. Supernova are not just death, because new stars are formed within nebulas. Turbulent, deep within nebula clouds create high-density regions where gas and dust collapse together by the force of gravity. The pressure from that very strong gravity causes the material at the center to heat up, creating a protostar. Eventually, a protostar becomes hot enough to ignite nuclear fusion reactions. Going back to the topic of supernovas, a star that has gone supernova completely changes because most of its mass has been blown out far away. The remaining mass of the star that has gone supernova will be extremely dense, and it will now be a neutron star. A neutron star emits twin beams of radiation in opposite directions. Meteorites with amino acids inside have been found on our home planet Earth. Amino acids are building blocks for life. Those particular meteorites with amino acids in may have came from planets that had atmospheres and life on them in the distant past. But somehow those planets were smashed up into asteroids. The universe is extremely violent and nowhere is safe. We have showed you the basics of our solar system and the basics of galaxies and the basics of the universe. There is much more information about the universe that can be learned. Here are some of the advanced topics that can be researched.